everybody, it's Elle back for another bump date for all of you. I'm so excited to be doing my first ever pregnancy update. It's so exciting for me. I'm just through the roof, so happy right now. I'm going to attempt to do a bump date every week, but we'll see how that goes. And I wanted to say sorry about the ridiculous lighting right now. I'm actually doing this in my bedroom, which is so not set up at all for videos because I have blackout curtains. Like, it's a blackout vinyl. It's not even like I can raise the curtains on my windows at all times because I usually sleep during the day. Yay, night shift nursing. So sorry about the horrible lighting. There's literally just one giant light facing me right now and I look crazy and pale and it's awful, but I'm hoping that for subsequent videos I'll be able to do this in natural lighting, but for right now I have to use this because even though we do have natural light in our apartment in general, my brother-in-law is over, so I can't just like be in our living room talking about my pregnancy update, even though he knows now, which is awesome, but I can't just like be in the living room. And I actually usually do my videos in the spare room, which will be our nursery, but right now he's staying in there, so I can't just like invade his room and be like, hey, gotta make a video real quick, awkward. So I'm officially on week 5 of my pregnancy. So this is going to be my 4-week bump date because I'll be talking all about what my experiences were like in week 4. Okay, so last time I talked to you guys, I was telling you all about my BFP and how I felt directly after my BFP. So some things that have changed is the egg craving has definitely dropped off a little bit more. I'm not craving things as much as I was before. It's more like if I am hungry, I have to eat like right now, and I definitely want other things more than other things. Like, you know, for example, the other day we were going to a family reunion and on the way we had to like stop and get some lunch because we weren't going to be there for a while. So we decided to go to Wendy's. I know, not the most healthy option, but so we were at Wendy's and I was super hungry and I was trying to think about what I wanted and like not a whole lot sounded good. So I wound up getting just like plain chicken nuggets. But those were delicious and it worked great. So it's just funny, like there's certain things that I definitely don't want and then there are things that sound good to me in the moment. And so, so definitely not like one craving, like I was craving eggs and now it's kind of dropped off a little bit more. So about morning sickness. So I did a lot of research about like why morning sickness exists, and some of the theories were estrogen levels, which I don't think, because my estrogen levels were at like 4,000 before I had my egg retrieval and I wasn't nauseous then, and then they said progesterone maybe, but I've been on progesterone for like weeks and I have not had any nausea from that. And then one of the other more prominent theories is HCG levels. So I think that's what it is for sure, because I mean, I do think that like estrogen and progesterone together can definitely cause like a little bit of nausea. Like I was nauseous on the birth control pill, so that makes sense, but I think the HCG is the thing that really affects it, because if you look at a chart of HCG, it like spikes up and then kind of like levels off after the first trimester. It actually goes down after the first trimester, and so that's why a lot of people after the first trimester don't have morning sickness anymore. That's the other thing. I have been hot all the time and it's summer here. So I have been just like cranking the AC, and it's so funny because my husband tends to run really warm, and like even he has been like, oh my gosh, it's freezing in here, and I'm like, no, it feels amazing. So that's definitely been a big thing. So in terms of the morning sickness though that I wanted to talk about, so as I was saying, I don't usually set alarms for myself, but the couple of times I've had to set an alarm and get up recently, like for I mentioned like the family reunion, which was like last weekend, but more like for the endometrium, because you have to take it 3 times a day, so I have to set an alarm usually to take the dose that I have to take right when I wake up. So whenever I have to, the last 2 days, whenever I had to set the alarm and like wake up right away and do the endometrium, I've just had this like wave of incredible nausea of like, oh my gosh, like I need to sit down right now, or I need to lay down right now. And it hasn't been super bad until just this morning. Just this past morning, I actually had to do my endometrium at a really funky time because the way that I had worked out the day before, I was kicking myself. But I had to do it at a really funky time. I had to get up kind of in the middle of sleep and like go do it and then go back to bed. And so anyway, so I like got up, went to go, you know, use the bathroom and then do the endometrium. And like, as I was walking to the bathroom, I was like, ooh, that doesn't feel good, like just nausea. And then after I did the endometrium, I was just hit with this wave of nausea, and I was like, I need to lie down right now. So I grabbed the trash can from our little bathroom in the bedroom, and I bring it into bed with me here, and I just like huddle with the trash can in the bed for like 10 minutes until like the nausea kind of subsided, and then I drank a couple sips of water and put the trash can on the side of the bed and went back to sleep. So that was good, but it was just really funny because I haven't had nausea like that in a really long time. It's just this wave of like, oh my gosh. So one of the theories of how to prevent this is protein, and we have protein powder from during the IVF process and during like egg retrieval and stuff, which I talked about. We used it to prevent OHSS, and so I have a whole bag of protein powder and protein shaker, and so we've been like, hey, maybe we should try that, like literally putting protein powder next to my bedside table and the shaker bottle and putting a bottle of water next to it, and when I wake up in the morning, because I have like an iron bladder, I don't need to pee the second I wake up. I can usually wait like 20 minutes, so I think like before I get up in the morning, I'm going to try that. Just pour water in and shake it up and like drink that kind of slowly before I like get up for the day. People say like crackers and stuff help, but I just have not had an inkling for crackers at all. I don't know why, just carbs in general, like I really haven't been craving. As I mentioned, I've craved eggs, I've craved like protein. Like yesterday we were trying to figure out what we wanted for dinner, and I was like, I want a rotisserie chicken, you know, and like sweet potatoes. Like I haven't really craved like sugar or like carby things. And my theory is kind of that I've been having heartburn, and like whenever I have a lot of carbs or sugary or salty things, I just tend to get more heartburn. So I think that's why my body just doesn't want it, especially pizza. Like every time I've had pizza in the past 2 weeks, I've had the worst heartburn ever from it, and it's terrible. And so I just have not wanted pizza at all, which is really funny. You think a pregnant woman would want like sweets and carbs, and nope, I just want protein, which is good. I think it's good that that's what my body is craving, and this little fighter is apparently, you know, a little bodybuilder. All it wants is protein powder. So anyways, so today, this afternoon when I woke up for like the day, I got up really slowly, and then before I even had breakfast, I made myself a protein shake in the shaker bottle. And so I drank that, and I felt pretty good for the rest of the afternoon. So I think that really is the play for me, is to just keep up with the protein, and that'll help me to prevent nausea. So that's really been the only thing. I haven't taken anything for nausea yet. Had a little bit of a scare / annoyance with there's like, as I think I mentioned before, there's one person at MGH, I don't know if it's like a medical secretary or one of the nurses or whatever, they're all wonderful there, but there's one person that keeps kind of like either giving shoddy advice or has messed up like medication orders. Or this was back when I was talking about like my calendar, how I never got it forever, and they were like, oh yeah, and it's like this one person that I'm just like, I don't know what's up. So anyways, during IVF and after transfer, they gave me a sheet that like explains everything. It just says, you know, take a prenatal vitamin, don't swim for a week, don't immerse yourself for a week in a bath, whatever. So anyways, it was funny, on the list it just said to take prenatal, and I was like, and it said like eat and drink normally. And I was like, eat and drink normally. I was like, okay, but I'm avoiding alcohol, right? Because there's a chance I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I was like, and you know, for nausea, like if I get nauseous, like what should I do? And they were just like, oh, you know, you could just do a little bit of Pepto Bismol. And I was like, okay. And so then I was over at my sister-in-law's after the family reunion, and I was saying, because she knows like we announced it to them, so they know that I'm pregnant, my brother and my sister-in-law. Only like immediate family and friends know right now. Maybe 10 people know. But anyways, at least for right now. So anyways, I was telling her how my heartburn has been really bad, and like I tried Tums and that didn't really work, and I was like, is there anything that helped for you? And she said, oh yeah, Maalox helped really well for me, and that's safe during pregnancy. And I was like, oh okay, I'll try that. And I was like, yeah, because the other night I did Tums and didn't feel very good, and so I tried a Pepto Bismol, and then that seemed to help, and I finally went to bed. And she's like, really? My midwife said I wasn't supposed to have Pepto Bismol. And I was like, what? Just like, yeah, because it contains aspirin. And I was like, what? Like, okay, and let me preface this by saying, yes, I'm a nurse, But they don't teach you this in nursing school. This is like, you know the basics. You know you need to avoid raw fish and raw meat, like unpasteurized milk and cheeses, and alcohol. Like, everybody knows that. Most nurses know that. But they don't teach you like which products are safe to use while pregnant. I know almost by heart which products are safe to use while breastfeeding, because I work as a maternity nurse and I do home health care, and so I do a lot of like lactation counsel sessions and things like that, and so I'm often asked about that, and I always preface by saying make sure you check with your doctor. And so, again, it's a little bit my bad. Like, I probably should have just asked the doctor, but the problem with this clinic is, even though it's amazing, me and my husband were just like kind of ranting about this. We're like, you literally can't talk to the doctor unless you have a scheduled appointment, like 2 months ahead of time. You call them and you leave a question, and then the IVF nurse calls you back. So that was our thing, is I was like, well, I probably should ask the doctor about medicine, but like, I asked the IVF nurse and they should know, and she said I could take Pepto Bismol, and I probably should have done more research on it, yes, but anyways, I took one Pepto Bismol, so I don't feel like I harmed my baby or anything like that. And during the time I was also on baby aspirin, so which has been stopped now, but they did baby aspirin until my beta test. So I didn't feel terrible about it. It was really early on, and I was already on baby aspirin, so I was like, okay, well, obviously aspirin isn't the worst thing in the world, because if it was, then they wouldn't have me on it anyways, and obviously since then I've stopped using Pepto Bismol. But I was just so frustrated, because I was like, I'm doing everything I can to make a healthy baby, to the point where like the other night I was finally cleared to like take a bath, and I love baths. I just find them so relaxing, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't too hot. I was literally taking the temperature of the bath with like an oral under the tongue thermometer to make sure it was only like, you know, 98 or 99 degrees before getting into it, because I didn't want to raise my core temperature and hurt the baby. And so it's just so funny, like, thinking about all of these kind of extreme things that I've done so far. I mean, yes, I've eaten Wendy's, but like these kind of known things that you're supposed to avoid to not risk the baby. And I was just so frustrated because this person told me I could take Pepto Bismol and I'm not supposed to. So I was really frustrated by that, and I haven't like called them GH since then, but I've just stopped kind of everything, and now every single thing that I use, including essential oils, I go online and make sure from reputable sources that they are safe during pregnancy. So that's good. So the other thing I wanted to mention is I have been using essential oils, again, only ones that are safe during pregnancy, mainly lavender and peppermint. Now, these are both kind of stronger essential oils, so some people say like to use with caution, but I've just been using them in a diffuser and just like dispersed throughout, you know, our giant living room. It's not like I'm inhaling them directly, I'm not ingesting them, I'm not like putting them on my skin. I am just literally diffusing them into the air in a really low concentration, so it's just kind of aromatherapy at this point. But the lavender has been helping me sleep, and the peppermint I've been using for nausea and headaches, so that's been working really well for me. And then, and speaking of sleep, I have been very tired recently. So I haven't had a lot of insomnia. It's more like just kind of tired all the time, and like the second my head hits the pillow, I am just out. So that's been more what's going on. So let's see, what else is there to say? Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is I have spidey senses. It's hilarious. Like, the second that I knew I was pregnant, I've been having such intense like smell of things. Like, some people say that the coffee starts smelling bad to them, but I think coffee smells amazing. Oh, and I gave up caffeine too, in case you're wondering. So I completely gave up caffeine. I've just been having some decaf coffee here and there. Totally not the same, but I'm doing great. But coffee doesn't smell bad to me, and if anything, I want coffee. Like, I like decaf coffee. It kind of wakes me up, just the smell and taste and everything. So I still like coffee, but cooking meat smells terrible to me, even though I know it's fresh. Like, for example, you know, I went to a barbecue and they were like cooking burgers on the grill, which usually smells amazing, and I knew that the meat was fresh, but it smelled terrible to me, and I had to like walk away. And then some other things, like my husband cooked like ground turkey on the stove for like a casserole we were making, and again, I literally bought it that evening from the store, and I knew it was fine and it smelled fine, but as it was cooking it smelled terrible, and I had to like leave the room. And then other funny things, like for example, walking through, me and my friend were at Walmart the other day just like picking up a couple things, and we had to walk through like the automotive department, and I smelled like motor oil or something, and it just was like, oh. And then the other funny thing is my husband wears glasses. I do sometimes too for distance, but I don't need them, so he wears them a lot more than I do. But he was using glasses cleaner on his glasses, and like the smell of that was near me, and I was just like, oh, like I just couldn't handle it. So spidey senses, definitely heartburn, a little bit of morning sickness, and just tiredness has been kind of my symptoms so far. Really still loving being pregnant. I can't believe that this week is the week that our baby is going to start have a beating heart. Like, that is just crazy to me. I can't believe it. And I have taken some cheapy pregnancy tests, and they are super dark. Like, it was so funny. It wasn't like a gradual increase in the lines, because I've been taking them kind of every other day or every day. And it went from like super, super, super light to like, bam, really, really, really dark. So I think the levels just skyrocketed, and I've just been staying there. So I've taken them a couple days in a row, and they can't physically get any darker, so I'm just done taking the cheapy pregnancy tests. Anyways, and I'm still running the giveaway, so definitely do the giveaway, guys. All you have to do is send in any piece of mail, just my way of trying to get to know you all better. So if you just want to go ahead, down below is the address if you want to just send like a little letter or like a postcard. Yeah, totally. You can send like a postcard or just like a picture of you or your family or something like that. I just really want to be able to see and like know you guys better, because you've all been so amazing through this journey, and so this is my way of doing a special little giveaway back to you guys. So I'm to gather all of the letters and everything, and I definitely won't reveal any like names or addresses, so don't worry about that on my videos. I'm just going to like show what people have sent, and you know, if you say in your letter that you don't want to have it, you know, read, or you want it to be private, that's totally fine too. But I just want to like kind of show, oh hey, this person sent this, isn't this cool, or whatever, on a video. And then I'm going to randomly, I'm going to put all of the names in like a hat or in one of those like raffle copter things online, and just like randomly pick one, and that will be the person that gets the giveaway prize. So that's it for now, guys, and I just wanted to give you a quick update or bump date. Body's definitely changing and growing, but I'm super happy and everything's going really well. So that's it for now, guys, and if you like, subscribe.